supervisors down to the enumerators and the LCs. We did road drives. We've done very well. We only had challenges with the tablets on day one, but as we talk, we have done very, very well. And we are not having any more challenges. We want to be number one in the whole country. We've done all the sensitization. We've told people why they need to be counted. We've moved, because as Gulu district, we gave birth to all the districts in Gulu, and we have always remained with nothing. So every single human being in Gulu must be counted so that government plans properly for us. So we are hopeful that we are going to be the best in the whole country, because as so far we've done very well.
Now over to Mabira eviction. The National Forest Authority has partnered with the Electricity Regulatory Authority to restore forest cover in Mabira. This collaboration follows the eviction of encroachers and aims to address the negative impacts of climate change by ensuring sustainable and reliable power generation.
The continued encroachment on forest cover and other water catchment areas poses challenges to the climate and hinders environmentally related development initiatives.
But these enclaves are private lands with communities and LOC systems, with even government institutions, schools and health centers. So they border the forest, and they are part of the problem, of course, because of their nearness to the forest, and we keep managing.
That if we want to balance the ecosystem where the climate is preserved and managed, where you have enough water, you must ensure that forest is one of the areas that can preserve and restore the ecosystem.
According to reports, forest cover encroachment in Mabira currently stands at 5%. The National Forest Authority is working with collaborators to restore the cleared areas.
When we talk about climate, we're talking about the conditions of the place. And one of the things why we are preserving forests is to ensure that they can conserve the environment and the source of rainfall. This water is the one which is drained into rivers. And when the rivers have enough water, you are able to generate electricity. Not only electricity, but cheap, but also clean.
The Electricity Regulatory Authority committed to restoring critical forests with a significant impact on electricity generation, and signed a memorandum of understanding with NFA to restore 60 acres in a period of 4 years.
This activity in many other places, and in the north, West Nile, and today we are here to finalize the first commitment we had of 60 acres. Mabira Forest is very critical to our electricity supply, but not only electricity supply, but for the community, for their livelihood. Because currently the environment has been affected by human activity.
Through collaboration with the local leaders, the NFA successfully evicted encroachers from Mabira forest land. Residents of Buko village, Wakisi sub-county, agreed to harvest the existing crops but cease further cultivation. Abdul Nasir Lowama for UBC.
Now, as the 2023-2024 fiscal year draws to a close, a joint roundtable discussion by the World Health Organization and the Ministry of Health have underscored the critical need to prioritize financing for primary health care, as we hear more in this report.
The Ministry of Health received a budget allocation of 464 billion Uganda shillings for the year 2023-24, with an additional 74 billion Uganda shillings allocated in February, bringing the total of 538 billion Uganda shillings. Despite this increase, the ministry emphasized the need for further investment in the healthcare system.
For health is also an essential element for social and economic development in Uganda. And how we finance the health sector has a strong bearing on our universal health coverage aspirations. And you heard that very strongly from the UN resident representative talking about the how. The evidence is strong that progress towards universal health coverage, core to Sustainable Development Goal 3, requires adequate, sustainable, predictable, and reliable resources. However, as is the case for most developing countries, Uganda will fail to achieve its targets for universal health coverage unless we take urgent steps to strengthen our health financing system.
Health center fours are the closest health facilities to majority of citizens. More money should be allocated to such hospitals.
Health education, health promotion, and prevention. But also, if we have our little money, where do we put it? Do we put it in hospitals? Do we put it in primary health care facilities? In my opinion, and backed by science and evidence, we would put it in primary health care facilities because that is where most of the population goes. They go to health center 3s and health center 4s. So if we can make them functional, then we will have less influx into hospitals and into the regional referral hospitals. But
health resources have been fragmented, and there was a call to the Ministry of Health to lay adoptive policies for the improvement of Uganda's health financing.
This call for the Ministry of Health and partners to propose appropriate health financing policy reforms to address the current challenges. Notably,
pocket expenditure on health reduced from 41% in 2019 to 27% in 2021. Mario Nawori and Dan Lugemwa for UBC.
Thank you very much, Dan Lugema and Marion. Now, the Ministry of Water and Environment, in collaboration with the local governments of Arua District and Arua City, along with Rice West Nile, have launched a 2-year project to intensify the protection of River Anyao from human interference. The Anyao River, with its sources at the border of the Democratic Republic of Congo in Vura, is the longest river in West Nile. However, its state is continuously deteriorating due to human activities that attribute to the climate change and its negative consequences. Let's hear more in this report.
This project is intended to have nature-based solutions to mitigate the effects of climate change through afforestation, preservation of our wetland resources, to ensure that we sustainably manage them. And once we lose this, then we have lost the track. And government will spend a lot of money. I don't know whether you understand the interlink between nature and other issues. If a Anyao wetland is destroyed completely, we expect floods. The bridges will break down, they will be washed away. You will have other diseases coming up, waterborne diseases, they will come, and the referral hospital will be overwhelmed. You will not have drugs. So you can see how problems will come. The interventions that we are taking up here as ministry and government, they must be fully supported by the local leadership.
So how are we going to stop this poor man from cutting trees? For these people along the river, we are going to look for them alternatives. But what about someone in Eriki? What about someone in Yajia? Please, go and manufacture water for production. Go and manufacture small-scale irrigation.
We are very, very vulnerable because of the climate change. A case in point I want to bring to your attention is the recent extreme heat we've had. This is a life-giving river for the inhabitants of district, city, Terego, Marata, Rhinoken, Madiokolo, where the refugee settlements. So this is life-giving river. If we do anything here, life gets affected at the refugee settlements.
We have water protection species or riverbank protection species that we are going to use. Part of it is bamboo, then others are the water-friendly trees like mahogany. We shall plant them along the river bank, and that is to ensure that the water which is under the cover of these trees does not run dry, even in the dry season. We are also planting trees in areas which are outside the river bank. We have some hills where we shall plant, altogether a total of 100 hectares. We expect resistance as a challenge from communities, but this resistance is something that is not new to us.
Now, the Makerere University Research and Innovation Fund has appealed to government for increased funding to support the growing number of innovations at Makerere and other public universities. Professor Masagazi Masazi, head of University Research and Innovation Funds, highlighted the challenges of limited funding during the dissemination of the comprehensive evaluation of blended learning phase 2 among the undergraduate and PhD students at Makerere University.
Looking forward that you can get all the 30 billion, which we haven't got. We have tried to reach out to Minister of Finance, and hopefully we are going to get the remaining balance. And if we don't get the remaining balance, which is 5 billion, it's going to cost research and innovation a challenge, and a big challenge, because we have many researchers who have already applied, but you cannot support them. So it is important that the government releases the 30 billion, the total of the 30 billion, which was promised per financial year, so that we can support the fund, research and innovation in this university.
The innovations, innovative teaching and learning is a key pillar, right as you have stated in our strategic plan and direction for 10 years. The next 10 years, Makerere is standing on 4 major pillars, but the very, very first pillar is innovative teaching and learning. Okay. There is the pillar of a research-led and intensive and networked university, and also a partnered and gendered university. They are those pillars. But teaching and learning comes in as the first place. So I believe that whatever work is being done and the results that are coming our way from this very, very important project, I am very, very much convinced and very sure that they will add strong improvement to the processes of teaching and learning and the ultimate products that we churn out, okay, into the market from Makerere University to greatly, greatly improve.
The students at graduate level are yearning for blended learning because most of them are working class, they have offices, they have businesses, so they want a situation where they can study as they also work. The only unfortunate bit that we have discovered is that the way it is being held, many of the players take Zoom to mean blended learning, which again mimics a classroom instruction. And that is where they are saying, can we improve this and make a one-stop gap, a one-stop web portal where they can study, learn, access results, and also register. So if we can have this one done, then blended learning is going to be fully embraced within the university. But otherwise, in terms of uptake, the graduate students are up and they need it to happen as soon as possible.
Now, government is revisiting the National Religious and Faith Organization policy, sparking debate among religious leaders. The policy, drafted 4 years ago by the Ministry of Ethics and Integrity, seeks to regulate the activities of faith-based organizations and establish a governing body for oversight and guidance.
8 years ago, the Ministry of Ethics and Integrity drafted the National Religious and Faith Organization policy. This policy aimed to regulate the activities of faith-based organizations and establish governing body to oversee them, provide guidance, and offer advice when necessary.
The biggest confusion which has been going on, not only here, but all over the country, people think that a policy is a law. People think that a policy is now what is going to dictate the control and whatnot, how they should prepare their sermon and the like. No. The religious policy, I told them, and they understood that a policy is just a mega plan of government to solve a problem in an area, in an institution.
Currently, in the validation phase, the policy emphasizes inclusivity. Officials say all key stakeholders will be consulted before finalization. However, concerns have already surfaced. During a consultation meeting with the young religious leaders organized by the International Center for Religious Advocacy and Development, reservations about the original draft were expressed by many.
We know that when you touch issues of faith and religion, you are touching matters of conscience. When matters of conscience are suppressed in humanity, the result is that a lot of immorality will spring forth. Men will lose honor. The honor for humanity and human life is lost when that freedom of worship and faith and conscience is touched. Now, what we have done today is to gather ministers in the youth demographic. And why did we do that? Because the biggest population of Uganda are youth, and we feel that the future belongs to the youth.
Prominent pastors like David Chiganda and Michael Chazi attended the meeting, voicing concerns about the policy's redundancy.
Churches are not profit-making entities. They are not there to make money, and it would be a misleading statement and also a view to think that government is not benefiting from churches. Let me start with the tax you're talking about. Every Ugandan contributes in ways of paying tax. Every Uganda pays taxes. The people that are coming to our churches, mosques, and other worship places are taxpayers. They have already paid the taxes at their places of work. When they come to church and they give tithe and offering and zakah, they are only contributing to their place of worship to continue to exist.
The religions we see here, like the Anglican religion, the Swedish church, the Presbyterian church, those were started by states. A king starts a religion. A president starts a religion. These religions we have in Uganda were started by indigenous individual people. They don't have a common base, they don't have a common root, they cannot be governed by a common top leadership body. And an effort to do that is to give birth to a state religion which is divided.
When you're developing a law, you must be clear on what mischief you want to address. What in law what we call mischief. What is the problem you want to address? The remedy must be very clear, and the intention of the remedy must be very clear. When you read the draft policy of the current draft National Religious and Faith Organizations policy, the mischief is not clear. In their problem statement, they are saying there are 5 core issues they are addressing. But when you read the policy, there is no justification to address those 5 issues by creating a unique policy that addresses them. Morality has been handled by the Penal Code Act. Corruption, there is a whole anti-corruption code that even addresses that. There are a plethora of laws that deal with corruption. When you talk about the issue of lack of accountability, there are various laws that guide us on accountability.
Despite the debate, government maintains its commitment to an inclusive policy.
It is a framework which shows you if the problem is in dishonesty, like it has been by some religious leaders, the policy just said that at least in a religious institution, let there be transparency. How you put that transparency measure in your institution, in your church, is up to you. The policy dictates there should be transparency.
The National Religious and Faith Organization policy remains a work in progress. Whether it will be seen as a necessary reform or an overreach by government remains to be seen. Ngabo Amon, reporting for UBS TV.
Now, the government, through the Microfinance Support Center, has launched a new program aimed at engaging faith-based organizations in the Wealth Creation Initiative to eradicate poverty at household level in both rural and urban centers. In a stakeholders engagement meeting organized by the Microfinance Support Center in Kampala Nile Resort, the Minister of State for Microfinance, Haruna Kasolo, highlighted the role of religious institutions in poverty alleviation. As we hear more.
The Microfinance Support Center has initiated a household poverty eradication program that will be spearheaded by faith-based organizations in Greater Mukono. In a stakeholder engagement convention at Kampala Nile Resort, the Minister of State for Microfinance, Haruna Kasolo, explained that the government is involving religious institutions in the fight against poverty due to their ability to effectively disseminate wealth creation information to the masses.
So I want to encourage all of you now, this program which I'm about to launch, it should change the people within the diocese, the lives of the people within the diocese.
Minister Kasolo highlighted the government Pigari initiative targeting Christian-based organizations is to be implemented by Mukono Diocese. He explained that Pigari was chosen because it is market-oriented and has the potential to lift many rural and urban communities out of poverty.
First, there is a legal market. Legal market. We must support Mukono, then Wakiso, Kampala, and other cities. And we have the money.
The meeting, held to gather views on the project's implementation, focused on communities in the districts of Mukono, Kayunga, and Buyikwe. Retired Bishop of Mukono Diocese, William Sebagala, emphasized that Pigari is the best option among other enterprises to combat poverty in many households.
We are organizing groups between 5 to 7 groups, 7 people, 5 to 7 people in a group, so that they could support one another. And those ones we began by giving them free animals for them to rear. And so these groups would actually, we are expecting to grow up, because as they bring back, we also form other groups. We had formed so many groups, and we had over 1,000 people who had actually formed up the groups in order to have the program roll out.
The minister also tasked the Microfinance Support Center with designing a special program for Muslim communities in Greater Mukono and urged resident district commissioners and chief executive officers to disseminate wealth creation information to the public. Sudat Kaye and Robert Whiter, UBC News.
Live in concert kujahazi pia munyonyo mo hip hop kuna rubale Kurokanga 18 Mei 2024 ena fefe bosi weekend kama koma rapo na nyina freestyle jangola bomwana wakulu kutebika mungaliga sasa liva muchamba misana na chidonga tuli marapu melele pokinge mtwale bidi bia mtwale 5 emeza kakande emeza bia milioni 3 downloading MTN Momo app osaliwe kebijula 5 kubuli 10 ku tiketi woguli kwa MTN Momo tiketi egula mtwalo gumo ade VIP ebiri chitundu tulina the boat cruise. Itejwa musente MC MTN Momo Givo establishment the angry management.
Uganda's biggest tourism and travel trade show of the year is here again. The 8th edition of the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo Poate 2024 under the theme Responsible Tourism will be taking place at the Speak Resort Convention Center, Munyonyo, from the 23rd to the 25th of May 2024. It's your chance to connect with tourism and travel professionals from across the globe. Discover travel holiday deals, packages, and so much more. Visit www.poate.co.ug to register and be part of the event. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo, Poate, is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board.
Uganda plans to conduct the National Population and Housing Census 2024, a digital survey with a computer-assisted personal interviewing system from May 10th to May 19th, 2024. The census intends to collect accurate information on Uganda's population and housing characteristics, which will help in resource allocation, policy formulation, and development planning. Participants are encouraged to take part and provide accurate information to ensure the success of the census.
Gear up, grab your running shoes and join the race for life. Run 42-21 of 5 kilometers to equip Kisoro Hospital's very first ICU. Then, after the finish line, groove all night at the ultimate dance showdown with DJs and performers from Uganda and Kigali. Secure your sport at virungamountainmarathon.org and be a part of history. Save the date, June 1st, 2024 at Shaza Ground, Kisoro Town. Race for a cause. Run for life.
Welcome back from that short break. Now over to Kenya, where our very own President Yoweri Museveni Kaguta visited Uhuru Gardens to lay his wreath and also to honor the fallen heroes of Kenya.
Request that we remove our headdress for prayers. We may replace our headdress. Your Excellency, the next session will be the sounding of the bugles.
That's our president honoring the fallen heroes in Kenya. Now let's step a little bit into the world of sports, where 3 Silverfin Academy athletes received their accolades on Wednesday evening at the Hill Preparatory School in Nakuru after participating in a successful 4th edition of the Silverfin Pentathlon Invitational.
Silverfin Academy superstar swimmers received their accolades on Wednesday the 16th at their training grounds in Nakuru. Kala Mogisha, Isaiah Cook and Christian Buisho dominated in their respective age categories at the 4th edition of the Silverfin Pentathlon Invitational.
Silverfin was able to host the pentathlon because it had been so long since we hosted it, and it was a wonderful experience, and it was in the 17 and over category for the girls. I placed 1st position in the 50 freestyle and then 2nd position in the other 50s. For the future, we have nationals, which is in July or June. I hope to get PBs in my 50 freestyle, 100 freestyle, 50 fly and 100 fly, because they're what I'm training for the most.
I dominated in fly, 50 fly, 50 back and 50 freestyle. In 50 breaststroke, I came 2nd to an Isusima.
What I want to say about the Silverfin Pentathlon, it was fine, and we all enjoyed it. And the races I participated in were 50 fly, 50 back, 50 breast and 50 free.
This swimming event attracted 450 swimmers from Uganda and Rwanda, and the club hierarchy believes there is more in store for future annual events.
We are delighted that it was a success overwhelmingly, and we appreciate the participants, the athletes who demonstrated professionalism, skill and agility. We're blessed to have over 450 swimmers, and they did their event apart from the 100 IM, which we missed.
Just like other swim clubs in the country, Silverfin Academy will now turn its focus to the 2024 Swimming Nationals set for next month. Mashamiro Victor, UBC News.
Well, thank you so much for allowing us into your lunchtime space. That's all we had time for. Let's meet again at 8 and 10 o'clock. My name is Patricia Lokoma Mpango. Good afternoon.